A federal court rules that the state of Texas can defund Planned Parenthood. I'm Matt Barber, Vice President of Liberty Counsel Action, and joining me in studio today is Ron Miller, Associate Dean with Liberty University's Helms School of Government. Ron, in New Orleans, a federal appeals court ruled recently that the state legislature can, in fact, cut funds to abortion providers such as Planned Parenthood. The Texas legislature's decision to cut funds to Planned Parenthood and other abortion-related organizations has overcome a major court challenge. A number of states have done this because the federal government has refused to defund Planned Parenthood. Hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer funds go to Planned Parenthood per year, the largest abortion provider in the country. Texas is one of a number of states that are lining up and saying, well, federal government, you can do that, but Planned Parenthood has been caught on multiple occasions covering up statutory rape, cooking the books, engaging in a number of pretty clearly questionable practices, and some even illegal, not to mention unconscionable in terms of covering up statutory rape of young women and protecting adult sexual predators from law enforcement. Well, Planned Parenthood sued at the state of Texas and said, no, give us our free ride, give us our money, saying that the law violated the First Amendment's rights to free speech. And the Obama administration has also cracked down and tried to force Texas and other states to change the rules, saying that they would not fund Texas women's health programs. The battle is on over Planned Parenthood. It's amazing to me that this abortion issue is just the sacred cow of the radical left, people like President Barack Obama, and it's an issue that they will not give an inch on.
I want people to really understand how serious they are about protecting abortion as a political sacrament, if you will. They're willing to defund women's health programs that are not affiliated with Planned Parenthood. In other words, they're willing to take the money that the federal government provides to Medicaid, which is the program that helps poor families, in order to protect the Planned Parenthood abortion funding. And I know Planned Parenthood will say that it's not abortion funding. They'll talk about all the services they provide. I want people to understand that these percentages of 97% women's health versus 3% abortion, that is a skewed statistic, because every single individual service they offer, they count in those numbers. The fact is that a third of their profits come from abortion services. And the fact that there are other alternatives out there for women's health, that needs to be known as well. So I commend Texas for what they're doing. The fight is just beginning. We're going to see this go up, I'm sure, because Planned Parenthood doesn't give up easily, as the Komen folks found out earlier in the year. And I think we'll expect to see more of this as we go along.
Well, this is good news, this appeals court ruling, because in December, a federal judge had ruled that the state of Texas must continue funding abortion-linked organizations like Planned Parenthood. Here we again have a battle between states' rights and the federal government and who's in control. Well, the Federal Court of Appeals unanimously threw out the free speech argument and agreed that Texas lawmakers may decide which organizations to fund, which organizations not to fund. And this is a tremendous victory for both life, for freedom of conscience, for representative government at the local and state level to be able to push back against this abortion juggernaut that is so powerful in this country, and the power goes all the way up to the very top. And President Obama, you may recall that during his election campaign in 2008, he stood before Planned Parenthood and said the first thing that he would do, his primary agenda as president, the first thing he would do is, if it were passed, would be to sign into law the so-called Freedom of Choice Act. This is a sweeping federal bill that people like Kathleen Sebelius, the head chief of the Department of Health and Human Services, a radical former Kansas governor, radical pro-abort, they've been pushing this dream bill forever, it seems, to just wipe out all common sense restrictions on the multi-billion-dollar abortion industry, remove all the safety fail-safes that are put in place to protect children, to protect women, to protect certainly the unborn across the country, and that is their ultimate goal. Fortunately, states legislators in the state of Texas and Indiana and elsewhere across the country are saying we're going to take a different tack here. We're going to approach it from a more central, local level, and they're doing so. And this is a wonderful victory. I hope more state legislatures and legislators will sit up and take notice.
And this really affirms this basic principle that dates back to the days of our founding, and that is that the people shouldn't be forced to pay for anything that they find morally objectionable. And in effect, by allowing governments to fund organizations like Planned Parenthood, they're making people who oppose abortion and who believe in the sanctity of life, they're making them accessories to murder. And I think it's a great ruling. I think that it upholds a very basic concept that I think we all agree. This is not about banning abortion, as some people would say, although I hope and pray that someday that will be the case. The fact, however, is that we shouldn't have to pay for it. It's that simple.
Well, and sadly, we do pay for it. Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel, he addressing this issue, he pointed out recently in a press release, he said this: taxpayers should never be forced to violate their conscience and fund any abortion organization. Planned Parenthood, the nation's top abortion provider, takes the life of an unborn baby every 96 seconds. Now, get this, the U.S. Government Accountability Office, the GAO, reported that from 2002, Ron, to 2009, pro-abortion groups like Planned Parenthood received over $1 billion from the federal government. That's your and my taxpayer funds in order to facilitate the taking of innocent human life, plus state and local grants. And Planned Parenthood alone received $657.1 million in federal grants and contracts during that time period. That is a ton of money. Boy, how about some parity here? How about giving that kind of taxpayer funds to crisis pregnancy centers, for instance? Of course, those who are controlling the reins of government and the purse strings right now have no interest in helping further abortion and adoption and alternatives to abortion. They only have an interest in your taxpayer dollars, my taxpayer dollars going to fund abortion.
And the notion that by defunding Planned Parenthood, you're harming women's health is just absurd, because you're talking about 800 or so Planned Parenthood clinics across the country when we have thousands of crisis pregnancy centers, women's health centers, and other places that offer these services, usually at little to no cost and without the stigma and the shame of abortion services as a primary source of revenue, really their reason for existence, if you look at their history. So I think that it's very important for us to continue to educate people, not only about the legal implications of this kind of a ruling, but also to counter the lies that are being put out there about why federal money or state money ought to be allocated to this abhorrent practice.
Yeah, and that's what it's built on. It is built on lies. It is built on, the left has gained so much ground here, and they don't want to relent even an inch, even in the face, again, as we point out, of revelations across the country that Planned Parenthood has engaged in. The group Live Action has busted them on multiple occasions, engaging in racist, eugenics-rooted activity, engaging in cover-ups of child molestation and assaults on young women, where it's convenient, where they face, folks, the possibility of losing, taking a hit to their wallet. Planned Parenthood seems to be willing to circumvent the law, do whatever it takes to fund their pro-abortion coffers. At Liberty Counsel, we support states like Texas that are pushing back against Planned Parenthood, and we push back against Planned Parenthood in the courtrooms across America every day, but we can only do so with your help, with your support, certainly with your prayers, and with your financial aid. Go to lc.org to learn how you can become part of Liberty Counsel's ministry, or give us a call at 1-800-671-1776. Stand with Liberty Counsel as we stand in the gap between Planned Parenthood and innocent human beings that are precious in the sight of God. Go to lc.org.